no way. Oh, dude, I've just found out about the Wu-Tang Clan video games. I have to get these. Wu-Tang Shaolin style. Taste the pain.
I think I knew about those. I obviously not played them. Are they fighting games? Like
Well,
Mortal
this
Kombat?
one it's a fighting game developed by Paradox Entertainment and published by Activision for the PlayStation. Okay,
Activision.
Activision.
The people that brought you Centipede or some shit. I don't know what Activision did some classic games.
Oh yeah, Activision played a huge part in Guitar Hero as well.
Jar's Revenge. I don't know.
Dude, I fucking loved Centipede, especially the because I've got what's it called, Atari Anniversary for the PS1. It's one of the first video games I ever had. Was a PS1 compilation of a bunch of Atari games, and I remember being about 5 years old playing these games and just thinking, "Wow, cool."
The graphics can't get any better than this.
Yeah. firmly planted in an era where they already had been for quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a timelessness to that era.
Yeah.
They're so simple, it's hard to fuck them up, you know? Asteroids. I'm little triangle. Triangle fire little bolt, blow up asteroid. Asteroid get smaller, but more of them. Don't hit them.
It's a great game, though. The control of that's very different than a lot of video games.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You're spinning around and shit. Hi. I guess that should be the beginning because you started with the Wu-Tang video game. And
yeah.
It's really weird to know that I am a part of a podcast and have been on a podcast for many years that talks so much about video games, and yet I rarely play video games. I just sort of live vicariously through you.
Yeah, I'm pretty tapped in, but I'm kind of tapped in with the era of my childhood. But really, there's a lot of video games I know jack shit about, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that comes down to now the market is so diverse. And there's so many different genres of games. I mean, shit, back in the day, you went to an arcade, and what was there was it, you know?
Yeah.
And nowadays, you've got so many different offshoots of different types of things. I mean, my favorite stuff is open world, free roam, fuck around in a huge map sort of stuff.
I think for me, the more freedom you have in a game, the more stressed out I get because I just don't. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Can you just tell me what I'm supposed to do? I just want to know that I just go to the right. I just keep going to the right. Cool.
I will say, and I've probably said it like hundreds of times at this point, but when you're a kid and you don't really have a lot of agency over where you go or what you do, you know, getting a video game like San Andreas where you get to do untold criminal shit across an entire state, let alone a single city, that at 9 years old, that blew my fucking mind.
You literally said that on the last episode we did.
Yeah. I know this show's slowly but surely just turning into a play GTA San Andreas Hypnotoad experience.
And
right
I'm still over here, like, because you see, like, you know, people that know a lot more about video games post these videos and they're like, this is the RoboCop game for the Nintendo NES, and I'm like, oh, I love that one. And they're like, this is a really shitty game that's a shitty adaptation of a movie, and I'm all like, it's shitty, like I don't look at it the same way that other people do. I'm just like, they put out an adaptation for a movie, and I was, even if it was like difficult and like the graphics were shit, I was still just like, I'm playing this movie, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And so like I still look at it as like, well, I don't know, it's a cool game. Like, what do you like? We got to exist in a time where like movies like that would come out, and then there would be a video game, and you would play it. And now people are all like, well, let's look at it under a microscope. It's really just a port of this other game from this. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care if it's a clone of fucking Super Mario. If it's RoboCop, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, not that the RoboCop game is. I mean, it's kind of hard controlling the. The shooting is weird because like you can shoot like up and down, but you have to make sure you're in the right angle, and you have people that are like above you and stuff. And I'm not really good at that kind of thing. But so I literally just play it for like 10 to 15 minutes, and I just go, fuck it, I'm gonna go do something else. There's a whole lot of noise out here today, and I apologize because that was somebody's loud ass stupid car, but also there's a lawn people across the street. There's an empty lot across the street from my house, and they're like completely mowing it and fixing it up. I don't know if somebody's buying that lot and is going to move in, and if they do, they better be cool, because otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm going to terrorize them with my death metal.
Cool.
Which is not what we're talking about today. Welcome to Cranked and Ranked. I did not say welcome to Cranked and Ranked, but that's what this is. This is a show. It's called Cranked and Ranked, where we rank stuff after we cranked it.
Yes.
And band discographies, artist discographies, do a lot of rock and metal and alternative. But we've done a handful of hip hop artists over the years.
We dip our toes into the hip hop world. We're hip hop fans.
Yeah. We've done Public Enemy. We've done Outkast. We've done DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. We've done the NWA related artists, like we did like NWA, Dr. Dre, not Snoop Dogg, NWA,
Eazy-E.
Dr. Dre, Eazy-E. I feel like there's another one we did that I'm missing. Yeah, Eminem. We did Eminem.
Eminem, Fresh Prince.
I said that one.
Oh, sorry, my bad. We've done quite a few. I would quite like to do Ice Cube at some point in the
I would
near
like
future.
to do Run DMC.
Oh yes, yes,
very much. And but today it is the Wu-Tang Clan, and and it's an interesting discography, because if we really were like a hip hop type podcast, I think our Wu-Tang ranking would be way more in depth, because there's plenty of quote unquote Wu-Tang albums that have the name Wu-Tang somewhere on them, but they're not considered Wu-Tang Clan albums. Yeah. Not to mention all the solo albums that the Wu-Tang Clan members did. It's a lot. But we're focusing on the 6, should be 7. We'll talk about the 7th one. But the 6 main Wu-Tang Clan full-length albums. And meaning, like, let's run down the clan here. We got the RZA, we have the Jizza. We have Inspector Deck, we have U-God, we have Ghostface Killah, we have Method Man, Raekwon, Old Dirty Bastard. Not original, but joined very early during the first album, Master Killa, and then a little bit later on, they decided, hey, Capadonna, you can be part of the clan too. But I don't to me, like, Wu-Tang Clan is those dudes that are on that first album, and Master Killa is on like one track, and Capadonna's not on it at all. But so it's those main guys, and usually we start off by talking about where this artist or band or group came into our lives, and for me, it was in high school, so I honestly think that I heard the first Wu-Tang Clan album after I heard the first Old Dirty Bastard album. So I think my introduction was the Return to the 36 Chambers by Old Dirty Bastard. Right. And then I went back and got the Wu-Tang Clan album, because Wu-Tang was a big deal, but it's not like Wu-Tang was like Dr. Dre big. They weren't all over the TV everywhere. You knew who they were, but they weren't like everywhere. But so I was in high school at some point. I think it may have been like a sophomore or junior in high school. When did so Return to the 36 Chambers came out in 95. So I was probably a junior in high school. And all I remember is the lawnmower loud? Can you hear that?
I can hear it, but it's not overwhelming.
Okay, that's the problem.
If someone's listening in their car, it's not going to affect the
Yeah.
listenability of this.
Just pretend that I'm riding on a lawnmower while doing the show. It's
Dude,
like
so
ultimate
epic.
multitasking. But yeah, once I heard Wu-Tang, I just remember thinking like it was a total game changer for hip hop for me, because the kind of instrumentals that they used were different than what I was used to hearing, but most importantly, the lyrics. Because there were I grew up on the hip hop of the 80s, which was very like, that MC sucks, I'm a better MC. Like that was a lot of the lyrics. And then you had like KRS-One, which was very much just like, let me tell you the truth about what's going on. It was very like, and there was a lot of storytelling and like things like that. And then you got into the stuff that was a little more sort of alternative rap. So you got like your De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest and all that kind of stuff. But they still felt like they were very easy to follow. And all of a sudden, Wu-Tang, the lyrics, it seemed like there were just tons of references to shit that I didn't know. It was always a lot of stuff. I'm just like, what the fuck are they even saying? And I mean, some of it I got and some of it I didn't. But lyrically, I was always just like, these guys are on some other shit here.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. But a big part of it was the instrumentals, because I was like, this is like taking the art of sampling and just beat making to another level. And I really enjoyed it. And I was a very big fan of that first group of Wu-Tang albums, which we'll get into a little bit later. And so for you, I'm curious to know, like, what's the first Wu-Tang you heard, and was it on GTA?
Funnily enough, no. My knowledge with most of Wu-Tang kind of begins with this episode, to be honest. I've been in the dark for a lot of this. I knew some of the big songs off of 36 Chambers. That's pretty much all I knew. Like, Cream, Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With, that sort of thing. Yeah. I'd heard the big tracks from the first album. The rest I was pretty much in the dark on. Okay. And I'm sure I'd recognize a track here or there if you played it for me, and I'd be like, But to be honest, Wu-Tang, and honestly by extension hip hop, is a genre I am playing catch up in. And I'm not ashamed to admit that, because there are a lot of genres that I've kind of milked over the years, to the point where now I'm kind of yearning to hear something for the first time again. Yeah. And I'm at a point now where, especially my tastes, my musical taste is more diverse than it has ever been. Even when we started this show, and for me to hear so much awesome stuff for the first time is really, really cool. And, there's some stuff that really clicked with me, and there's some stuff that I'm sure will click down the line for me from this discography. But for the most part, I'm always thrilled when I get to do a complete dive into something I've never really done that with. Yeah. So Wu-Tang amazingly have eluded me thus far up until doing this, save for some big tracks off the first album, pretty much.
Nice. Okay. And if that's the case, once we get to the end of this episode, I have another suggestion for a Wu-Tang related episode for, somewhere down the line. Cool. Before we start, I want to discuss Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, because we can't include Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, which is the most recent Wu-Tang album from 2015, because only one copy of it exists, apparently. I don't know. I'm sure copies have been made somehow, but they haven't been leaked to where you can hear the full album. So we're not including it in our ranking. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to touch on some things from the wiki real quick, just because it's very interesting to me. So the album was from 2015. Only one copy was created, with no ability to download or stream it. Feeling the value of music had been cheapened by the internet, the producers, Silverings and RZA or RZA. Did I say that? Silverings? Silverings, yeah. They hoped to return it to the value of fine art. The only copy was purchased in 2015 for $2 million, making it the most expensive work of music ever sold. So anyway, the person who bought it was a man named Martin Scarelli, and if you think you know that name, it's because he's legendary in douchebaggery.
Yeah.
He is a pharmaceutical bro who, if I remember right, he bought like HIV medicine, like the patent for an HIV, and then
hiked the price of it.
Hiked the price way the fuck up and made himself rich, and total douchebag. Like, he's one of those dudes that you just see a picture of him and you're just like, oh, okay.
Very punchable face, I'm not going to lie.
Meaning he could easily be elected as president of the United States of America at this point. And then he got into all kinds of legal trouble. And it says a federal court seized assets belonging to him, including Once Upon a Time in Shaolin. In July 2021, the U.S. Department of Justice sold it to a corporate entity for more than $2 million to cover Scarelli's debts, and was then sold to the non-fungible token NFT collectors Pleaser DAO for $4 million. $4 million that album is now worth. The first public exhibition of the album began in June 2024 at the Museum of Old and New Art in Hobart, Tasmania. That month, Scarelli live streamed the album on X, triggering a lot, which means he did make a copy. Which I don't know how he did that. I guess, I don't know, who knows? There's probably a way to do it. I mean, I'm sure. And then it says, Pleaser DAO also began selling partial ownership of the album as an NFT, with each purchase accelerating the release by 88 seconds. I don't know what that means. I guess it'll be released to the public sooner than they wanted it to be, because like according to the wiki, it says a legal agreement with the purchaser stipulated that the album cannot be commercially exploited until 2103, meaning we will be dead. So I mean, maybe you won't be. Fuck, I don't know. That's you could very well still be alive at 2103.
On my deathbed, like,
where's the damn Wu-Tang?
Yeah, put that fucking Wu-Tang on, man. You know, and then it's just like, 2 straight hours of the band farting.
Yeah,
and
it says it can be played at listening party. Well, people have heard it and people have reviewed what they've heard. So there's ways. There's probably ways to hear snippets of it, but I didn't think that justified us including it in this, because we can't hear the album in full, and if we do hear it, it's probably not the quality that it deserves. So we didn't include Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, but I thought it was so interesting that we had to at least touch on it, because
absolutely,
is there like, imagine if for us, Metallica released an album like that. I would be really fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I would just be like, the person that can afford to buy it for $2 million does not deserve to have it. I guarantee you, whoever it is, And so
they need to do it as like a lottery, like, a fifth member thing.
Or do it as a fucking rental. Where you put yourself on a waiting list, and then eventually you get to have the album for 48 hours, and it's like an encrypted site you have to go to hear it, and you can't. So there's no way to like record your screen or whatever. That would be cool. But maybe Wu-Tang will. I don't know at this point. I don't know how that works. Like, if they sold it to somebody, do they no longer control what happens to it? And aside from whatever legal stipulations they included in it, I don't know. It's a very interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting thing to talk about. But if Wu-Tang was my favorite group of all time, I would be kind of annoyed that this pharmaceutical douchebag got to hear it and I didn't.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I get the angle of wanting to reinvigorate the value of music, and maybe if it was done, but then again, it wouldn't have had the impact. I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know. I'm running through scenarios in my head right now that would potentially justify it for me. But honestly, I get where they were going with this. But the fact it went to such an outrageously raging douchebag was a bummer.
But that's going to be the case with something like that. If the thing is, if it's going to be valuable in that fucking regard, the person that buys it is going to be a piece of shit. It's like a 98% chance it's going to be a piece of shit that ends up with access to it. So they should have known better, but whatever. Anyway, so that leaves us with 6 full-length Wu-Tang albums to rank, which is still quite a lot of content when you think about it, because only 2 of the 6 albums are shorter than an hour, or I guess 3 of them. 3 of them are shorter than an hour. 2 of them are over an hour, and one of them is 2.5 hours or some shit.
Yeah,
it's very long.
One's a big one,
big chunky boy.
Yeah.
So we're going to be ranking those and having a good old discussion about that shit. I'm so happy that they're cleaning up this lot across the street, because it just looked like shit. But not did you have to do it today? Jesus Christ. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get shit rolling, and let's do Eddie Sparxx's number 6 Wu-Tang album.
Okay, my number 6 Wu-Tang is A Better Tomorrow.
That's the most recent, aside from Once Upon a Time in Shaolin.
Yes, yeah. I had a really hard time ranking this because I'm hearing all of it for the first time, and generally speaking, it's outside of the wheelhouse of things I really, really know when it comes to putting an order to anything. So really, it was like being bombarded with hours and hours of cool stuff.
Did you listen in what order did you listen in?
Chronologically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I did do it chronologically, but there was a sense of as the albums progressed, Old Dirty Bastard in particular was gone by the 4th album, and his presence on the first and second, he's only on the W once, and then Iron Flag, he's gone, and that's just one of them. But he was a pretty identifiable, and I'm still figuring out who's who. I mean, there's what, 10 dudes in this, so
There's a few that you very quickly learn who they are. Obviously, Old Dirty Bastard really stands out. I feel like Method Man and Ghostface really stand out too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are right. And then even though they included like unreleased vocals of ODB on the later albums, it never really felt the same. Like they didn't have the same effect as he did, especially on that first album.
Yeah, for sure. There's ultimately, I went for a pros and cons kind of approach with my ranking on this one, and for A Better Tomorrow, like it's got some like really reflective and mature themes. There's nostalgic moments, for longtime fans, including things like ODB, little moments, and it does attempt to capture that like classic Wu-Tang spirit while innovating more with the beats and things like that. And there are interesting things about it, but I can't help but feel as though this is one of those discographies where if you exclude like the solo albums in amongst the actual mainline Wu-Tang albums themselves, I felt like going through this there was a sense of loss across a few of the albums, where there was like, maybe some inconsistent production. It doesn't quite have the intensity from the group's, peak, and that the tracks are a bit less memorable, to me at least, on going in for the first time, especially going from 36 Chambers right through the main discography. I mean, when you start out with such a game-changing album out of the gate, and just quickly over the course of about 6 albums that span about 20 years, there is a sense of, oh man, that we're not breaking as much ground as we were, or to that effect. But that being said, it's still well done for what it is. They're all very good at what they do.
Yeah.
It's just that this one, to me, didn't quite stand up intensity-wise, and I think that's what, going straight off of 36 Chambers, intensity is something that stands out on that, you know. And I think with the ensuing albums, there's a sense of maybe a loss of that. I'm not sure. But that being said, I still think it's interesting, and I still think it's very good as an album.
Yeah.
It just isn't quite what I'm going here for right now.
Yeah.
So it ended up down here.
Okay. I don't think you need to be nervous at all about your ranking, because like I feel like my order, aside from parts of my order, are for some fans probably going to be sacrilegious. Parts of it, maybe,
Well,
maybe.
You know that I don't care what people think. You know, I've got hot takes out the wazoo.
Yeah.
But when I'm coming into a discography that I've never really touched on before at all, barring like one or two tracks, I am always kind of wary, like, am I being fair to this? Am I giving this enough thought going into it?
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming at it from. I never want to come off ignorant. That's my thing.
And you don't, but yeah. But I'm glad my number 6 is here for a reason, but also it's good that I'm starting off talking about this so I can kind of explain how I feel it's difficult you going into this, as opposed to somebody that's heard a lot of stuff. My number 6 is Wu-Tang Forever from 1997.
Okay.
And it's their second album. So I have to preface this. So the first Wu-Tang album comes out. It's a classic. I'll talk about it much later. But I got into Wu-Tang, and there were only 2 things that I knew that were released at that. No, there was 3. There were 3 albums that had been released at that point. The first Wu-Tang album, Method Man, Tikal, and ODB, Return to the 36 Chambers. All 3 of those albums are fucking fantastic. And then, so here's what it is. So you've got Wu-Tang album comes out. November 1994, Method Man Tikal comes out. Fantastic. March 1995, ODB, Return to the 36 Chambers. Absolute fucking classic. August 1995, Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links. Give me a fucking break. That album's amazing. And like, if it's still 1995, November 1995, Jizza, Liquid Swords. Another fucking fantastic album. And then, as if that wasn't enough, 1996, October, Ghostface Killer's first album, Iron Man. Ghostface is my favorite Wu-Tang Clan member, one of my favorite hip-hop artists ever. Dude's fantastic. All of that shit had come out. That's all shit, mostly shit that you probably haven't even heard.
Yeah, I probably know like a song here or there, but
So it's like there's a whole chunk of world building, as it were, that already happened. And then in 1997, Wu-Tang Forever comes out, and I was excited to hear it, and then the first single came out, and I was just like, this is fine. Hopefully the whole album isn't just fine. And that's really what it is. It's like they go from releasing all of this legendary fucking music, and then they release this absolutely bloated, at sometimes underproduced, just collection of songs, not even really a coherent, no reason for it to be a double album except for the fact that around that time, double hip hop albums were a thing that people were into, because you had like, Tupac did it.
Biggie.
There was a lot. It was a big deal. It wasn't just hip hop. There were other artists too, but like the double album, and in the late '90s, the double album meant multiple hours of music.
Yeah.
So after all of that great shit that came out, this album was a huge disappointment for me. I liked things on it, but like sitting down to listen to it, first off, there is an almost 7-minute long intro that is fucking unnecessary. That immediately gives you this idea of like, holy shit, this album's gonna last for fucking ever. Is it? What the fuck is this for?
Yeah, I felt that about the intro. Not gonna lie.
And then the album never gains a momentum. Like there's so many like unmemorable instrumentals on that album, and unfortunately, when you do that, even some really talented MCs like these guys, it doesn't give them a lot to work with and not much to support them. So there's just these little pockets of time in the album where I go, oh, that was cool. But then it's followed by me going, is this album still fucking going? Almost 3 hours of almost good stuff sometimes. The second half of the album, I will give it, it's a little bit stronger than the first half. But following arguably one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time with this album is an absolute bummer. And the weird thing is, because I kind of knew this album pretty well, and so when I was listening to it again, I started to go through and think, what if we did a slashed and mashed? What songs would I keep? And guess what? 2 songs, 3 songs of the whole fucking album. So now let's put this in perspective, because comparatively speaking, it's still miles above a whole lot of hip hop that was going on at the time. But they set the bar so high, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row. They set the bar way the fuck up here. And then they put out this album that it's like, well, all the members are here. And that was kind of all you got. It was like, hey, Wu-Tang's back. And the Wu-Tang's back was the only exciting part of the album, aside from a couple things here and there in a 3-hour long album. And so me thinking about that like you missed out on all of that buildup of all these different albums. Like, honestly, if they had never done another Wu-Tang album, I was perfectly fine, because I'm like, the guys on their own who already have featuring Wu-Tang Clan members on their albums put out shit that's just as strong to me as the first Wu-Tang album. So anyway, this album is like one of those albums that it was a disappointment to me in 1997, and listening to it again almost 30 years later, and it's still just me going, oh man, why can't this be good?
Yeah.
Not that it's all bad, but comparatively speaking, it is a bummer of an album to listen to. So that's my number 6, Wu-Tang Forever.
Okay, cool. That brings me to my number 5. And my number 5 is 8 Diagrams.
Also my number 5.
Okay, cool.
Boom.
Cool. So again, with my kind of pros and cons approach for this one,
Okay.
it has a bold, experimental approach across it. There's a lot of like interesting, weird things they tried out. There's some creative production ideas. And there's the odd standout lyrical moment, but like it's not got much of the classic Wu-Tang gritty feel. And the chemistry on it sometimes feels a little bit off.
Yeah.
All in all, it's one of those albums that I heard was weird, and I went into it wanting to like it. And again, like you say, it was fine. You know, it's done well.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
you know, it's not blown me quite away as much, nearly as much as the bar they'd set, like you say. I mean, I'm only talking about 36 Chambers. I haven't listened to the rest of the world building that you mentioned, but I can imagine having had that context as well going in. I mean, to be honest, for the sake of this discography, I intentionally kept it quite lean, because I knew it would be far too much to digest all of that.
Well, that's why I was saying it would be fun to rank those 5 albums Because because there was I believe a Jizza and a RZA before Wu-Tang. But they're not Wu-Tang related because Wu-Tang wasn't a thing yet. I think those are the two that had albums out prior to this. But those 5 albums that just, like were off the back of that first album, eventually we should rank those, because that would be a difficult ranking, because it's 5 really strong albums.
Yeah.
And anyway, eventually we'll get to that point.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that 8 Diagrams, again, it was a case of I liked it, but it's not, blowing me away enough to think, I got to stick 8 Diagrams on,
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's it's funny because I remember when all these albums came out, and I always would give them a shot and then always be like, it's fine, it's okay. But 8 Diagrams was the one that I remember came out, and it was a few years, maybe 2 years after ODB had passed away. And I just remember like being kind of bummed that he, because there's a new Wu-Tang, but it's like also he's not around anymore. And I know that if you were alive to experience the life of Old Dirty Bastard via the news, you knew it wasn't going to end well. He was an eccentric person with a lot of issues, and so yeah. But you said a couple things that I think are right on the money. It is missing some grit and some bombast that I really like from Wu-Tang. You're right. It does really feel a couple of these albums. I mean, I guess really most of them occasionally have that feeling where I imagine them having a phone conversation where it's like, hey, are you available for the new Wu-Tang album? Look, I'm available next Tuesday from 11:45 to 12:15. Cool, let's get together. And like that's how the album is done. And it feels like an album put together by dealing with scheduling conflicts. And which is fine. People had their own lives, people had their own careers. You had people like fucking Method Man that went on to be a goddamn movie star and shit. Like they all had shit going on. But it feels disconnected. 8 Diagrams has some cool tracks here and there, but also some actual pretty weak ones in my opinion. And it really kind of drags at times. Really, the only thing at this point, I think this was the album where they officially announced that Capadonna was a member of Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah, and even then, it's all like, well, he's great and all, but like it didn't really. This album just felt too understated and just kind of put together as whatever. And if I remember right, I don't know if this was. Which one of these came out when they were doing the Wu-Tang TV show. I think that may have been A Better Tomorrow. And I never saw the Wu-Tang TV show. Like they did like a not documentary, but a dramatization. I think it was a short series about the beginnings of the Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah. And sometimes it just felt like things were being put together just because they had the time to do it. And they were just like, let's do it. Which is fine. Like, I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of all that, so I could be totally wrong. But I do know, like, with what I hear, especially with 8 Diagrams, it's just like, they could have done a lot better if they were, like, all 100% in for this. And I don't think they all were. But, who knows? So that's also my number 5, 8 Diagrams. What is your number 4?
My number 4 is Iron Flag.
Okay.
So this one I felt kind of conflicted on because there's things that really stand out to me, and there's things that make me think, there's another step away from, what made them stand out. And again, I've gone the pros and cons route with this. It's energetic and accessible. It's very accessible. There's some experimentation with some styles on it. There's some strong tracks and a good group chemistry still, but again, this is the first one without Old Dirty Bastard. It's it feels a bit rushed compared to the earlier albums. There's only like 1 year between this and the last album, and don't get me wrong. I know that rushed is an overused term when it comes to albums, because there are some back-to-back fucking killers that have come out one after the other. But this one, I definitely get the sense of, oh, let's get another one out, and it doesn't feel as distinctive as the Wu-Tang albums that precede it, you know. While I definitely agree that Wu-Tang Forever is bloated, there is still a distinctive Wu-Tang vibe that I feel across the albums. Yeah, does kind of dissipate a bit, and they kind of just become a good hip hop group, as opposed to 36 Chambers changing the fucking game levels. Again, like you say, it's because out of the gate they set the bar so fucking high that, you know, to get more music from them at all. I mean, they could have dropped 36 Chambers and fucking bounced, gone solo, and never done another Wu-Tang, and it would be they'd be fine, you know. That would be the nucleus from which they all emerged. But they still did it. They still did Wu-Tang, mainline Wu-Tang albums, and it's good. This is the first album where I in this ranking where I'm like, I can stick that on and intentionally, you know. It's not a case of, you know, I like a song here or there. It is a case of, oh, okay, put it on. I can have a good time to this. Plus, also, there's. I am a bit of a historian, so any albums that like directly involve 9/11 several times in the lyrics are always a bit of a. They're always a bit of a. I mean, I know 9/11 is a very controversial and negative thing, but there is a part of me that's always like, oh, I might learn something here. I don't know. There's. It's always interesting to hear an immediate response to something that would go on to change so much. I mean, at the time of this album coming out, it was 3 months since it happened, and you know, since then, so much shit has gone down that can still be traced back to that. So, you know, I mean, even the album cover parodies the raising the flag on Iwo Jima. You know. So that there is a sense of, I guess, solidarity here in the face of something that.
Well, not only that, like, you know, they're from the area.
They are, exactly. You know, that's where I was headed. You know, they're from the East Coast. They're from New York. So. Yeah,
it's got to feel, you know, because obviously I was way over here in Texas, and I can't imagine like what it would feel like to. Even especially if you lived in the city proper and where it occurred, like just even today, I imagine going around there is still kind of weird. Even 25 years later, got to be still weird. But
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I went to New York in 2014, and I went to Ground Zero and saw it. You know, something that I'd seen so many times on TV, in documentaries and movies and things like that, and just being stood at this site where that went down. It's a very humbling experience, being stood in a place where something crazy like that went down.
Yeah, I remember that there's a Spike Lee movie called 25th Hour with Edward Norton, and I remember there's a scene in that movie, because the movie came out, I think, the following year, maybe I don't know, but there's a scene in that movie where they're in like some sort of, I don't know if it's a hotel room or an office, and they literally pan up to look out the window, and literally the rubble, like the I don't know if it's like I don't know if there's rubble, but it's like the empty lot with like the lights, they had lights going, was literally right outside of the frame of in the camera. You just see that, you know, that's where they were.
I'm looking at it right now. I've just got the image of the clip up.
Yeah, it's a great movie too. I'm a Spike Lee fan. There's a lot of great Spike Lee movies, but that's a really cool one. But I do remember at the time, whenever you would see it addressed specifically in music or movies or whatever, it would always be like, holy shit, that did just happen to us, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, are you done with which one do you want? Iron Flag?
Iron Flag, yeah.
Cool. My number 4 is The W from 2000.
Cool.
The third full-length album. This one is just slightly better than 8 Diagrams for me. Still lacking some of the urgency that I expect from them. Some of the instrumentals actually kind of feel a little bit unfinished or rushed. The whole vibe just seems kind of uninspired. It's kind of inconsistent and uneven. So you may have some cool songs and some cool moments, but it's not enough to make it an overall great album. And this is a really weird ranking because I feel so strongly about some Wu-Tang stuff, and then others I just go, it's fine. It's it doesn't do it for me. I think a lot of modern, when I say modern hip hop, I mean post 2000s. 2000s from the year 2000 into now. Modern day hip hop is real hit or miss for me. And sometimes it's literally just the production. Sometimes the production is way too clean and too polished. And I grew up where the things that I love are sampling. I love sampling. I love taking things that weren't necessarily intended to be used in a specific way and kind of turning them around and turning one section of a track, or even better, the best groups that did it, you'd have 3 or 4 different sections from 3 or 4 different songs that all of a sudden interplay and create this new song that this guy does his great bars over. And that shit, I'm just like, that's a fucking art form. That's the kind of shit that I would argue when people would be like, rap music is not music. I'd be like, you're a fucking idiot. You are a fucking idiot. But then once you get later on, and I guess, obviously it got more expensive to clear samples, and then people would just be doing their own beats. And some people are really good at doing that. But a whole shitload of artists are really bad at it, and it just sounds like karaoke music with hip-hop artists over it.
Yeah.
So even Wu-Tang, even though they still had some sampling on some of their stuff, which I thought was very cool, but sometimes the instrumentals would just be too, for the lack of a better term, just too modern sounding, and I'd just be like, I like the fact that Wu-Tang, the first Wu-Tang album, sounds like it's not even from the 90s, but also from the 90s. It sounds like it could be from some different time on a parallel fucking universe.
Yeah.
And then it becomes very we've got $1 million now, and now we have this nice studio, and we can record these drums live, and we can record the, I just it's fine, but it doesn't do it for me. And so a lot of that stuff, including the Wu-Tang stuff, I just go, God, this is just not bringing what I want, and it's not memorable enough to really sort of push through the shortcomings of, the instrumentals, or certain people's performances don't seem as good as they could have been. So yeah, that being said, the W is my number 4, and it's all right. It's got some okay stuff on it. So on to your number 3.
Cool. So my number 3 is Wu-Tang Forever.
Okay.
Now, this one, I completely understand all your critiques of it. I get it. I get it. Mm-hmm. At the same time, there's a vibe to it, and it is that 90s hip-hop vibe that I just love. Yeah. I love the sound of hip-hop from the 90s in general. So
yeah.
I found myself just really, really immersing myself in this kind of zone. And really, when you're handed a setup where it's two CDs, there I do feel a sense of you can kind of listen to one or the other or both. But if you're doing the dive, you're doing the dive. And I think as well. I mean, what is it? The first disc is 45 minutes, and the second one is like 80.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a sense of,
and there's no connecting thing. There's no differentiating between one. Like, I feel like a group that nailed it is Outkast, because they're like, hey, here's a double disc, but it's two very different albums, and I think that makes it, enjoyable. Whereas, this is just a shitload of songs.
To be completely fair, this is what is it? 27 songs. Yeah. 29 if you include the bonus tracks from Europe and Japan with Sun Shower and Project International Remix. So I completely understand your critiques. I like the vibe, but it is a shitload of music to listen to in one go. It is an obscene runtime. What is it?
It's almost 3 hours.
What is it? Hold on. So that's 45, and that's pretty intense. It's an intense amount of music to be staring down. I also agree with your critiques, but at the same time, I do like the vibe of it. If someone stuck it on,
vibe goes a long way. So
I'm in support of the vibe. Could it have, done with removing about 19 songs potentially? But other than that, it's pretty much it.
Sweet.
It's ambitious, but bloated is what I'll say.
Yeah. So my number 3 is A Better Tomorrow from 2014, which is not the most recent, but it's the most recent that we were able to hear and rank. Their 6th album. This one is an interesting one for me because I put it at number 3. It's I wouldn't consider it overall a great album, but it starts off insanely strong for me. Ruckus in B minor is one of their best tracks to me. Post their first album. And it has, the album has some unreleased verses from ODB, which is nice to hear his voice pop up here and there. This one has a really great variety. The production is very good. My problem with this album is every time I've heard it, the first 4 tracks are just so good. And then it loses a whole lot of steam in the middle section of this album. And it goes from very strong to very sort of like, okay, fine. And then like a little bit later, I guess you get to like Pioneer the Frontier. It's a pretty cool track, and it starts to, pick back up, and there's some other cool tracks that follow. But that midsection is so rough for me that it's really hard for the album to recover. And I think one of my notes says, I think I just want to be surprised by the choices for the instrumentals, which is a part of why I liked them in the beginning. But by this point, it's either stuff that sounds like Wu-Tang stuff that they'd already done, or it just sounds like modern hip-hop. That being said, and I probably said this on every single album ranking we've ever done by a hip-hop artist where they have modern albums. I don't want random dudes singing hooks on hip-hop songs.
Yeah.
I don't like this features Drake. Not, I guess Drake's a rapper. Who's a fucking R&B? Usher. This features Usher, and in the middle of the song he's like, "This is the chorus." No, I don't. I don't know why that takes me out of the song, and I'm just like, the hook should not be some other dude. If there's a singer in your group, like if you're the Fugees and you got Lauryn Hill comes in and sings a little bit, that's cool. But for some reason, when the hook of the song is some rando just comes in. And I say rando because most of the time they're artists that I don't know who they are. I'm not switched on to a lot of that music because look at me. I listen to a whole lot of fucking rock and metal. And so there's a lot of artists that I just don't really know who they are. But that's like a modern hip hop thing. Here's the weirdest thing I've noticed about hip hop and hip hop related things from the 90s on. In the 90s, R&B music became better because they incorporated hip hop elements and hip hop artists.
Yeah.
But when hip hop incorporates R&B, get that the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so weird how it works one way for me and it doesn't work the other way for me at all.
This is a one-way street, buddy. You know?
Yeah. Because like you get into like the 90s with like the New Jack Swing, like right there. Where really the big thing about New Jack Swing was a lot of those artists were technically R&B artists. They were singers and doing R&B kind of music, but they were using hip hop beats.
They were incorporating the hip hop vibe,
and it was so good. But once you started to hear it the other way around, I'm just like, no, you can't do that. You can't do this. And once you pass the threshold of the 2000s, it just became that's what hip hop songs were for a long time. Was like this is a great Eminem song, but then you got to deal with a Rihanna chorus, and I'm like, Rihanna's very talented, but she fucking ruins. It takes all the life out of the song. Yeah, and I'm not picking on that one particular song, but you know what I mean.
No, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It feels like and this is not a dig at R&B, but when R&B was incorporating edgier stuff, it gave it a bit more balls, a bit more grit.
Yeah.
When you're incorporating R&B into hip hop, you're watering the hip hop down, and that is, I agree.
It's like the equivalent of like, I don't know. I was just trying to think of like a food reference for some reason. It's kind of like, you have a glass here and you're drinking a delicious Dr. Pepper. And then all of a sudden you put it down and somebody switches it with a Diet Coke and you're just like, what the fuck? Wait, whoa. This is not what I wanted.
Yeah.
Well, this is the Diet Coke part for all of the regular folk out there that think that hip hop is too edgy.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here. But I think it's because of how I grew up, because I grew up with like some of the hip hop music that I grew up on was some of the noisiest music out there. Oh yeah.
Dude, early Public Enemy is fucking wild.
Yeah,
dude.
all that Bomb Squad stuff. It's all squeakies and like, hey, here's this one part where the trumpet player did a bad note. Cool, let's loop that for the whole fucking song. And I love it. But anyway, so Better Tomorrow has some of that on it where all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, come on, we just come up with your own hook or just don't have a hook at all. Just have it be, I don't know. Anyway, what was that? Better Tomorrow. It's good. Ruckus in B minor. I cannot. That is an epic in one track, and I fucking love it. Move on. Top two. What's your number two? Oh wait, hold on. Your number two is the W.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my number two is the W, and there are some reasons for this. I think that I like it better than Wu-Tang Forever. The W.
Every time somebody says the name of that album, I'm all like, "You mean like the hotel?"
Yeah.
Over here, there's a hotel called the W. And I'm just like, that's not the best title for an album, but whatever.
Yeah, this one I like it because it's got it's got a lot more brevity than fucking Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah,
it's an hour and it's still less than half the length. And I think there's a lot of cool stuff. And a thing that I didn't know up until like just now, because I actually looked it up. I didn't realize that on Conditioner, Old Dirty Bastard's stuff was recorded over the phone while he was in jail.
Oh, you can't hear that?
Like I thought it was a like, you know, production choice. I didn't realize it was over the phone from jail.
Yeah. At this point, a big reason why there's 2 albums he wasn't on that much was because like he was always in court or in jail or something.
Yeah.
Like he was in a lot of trouble. I feel bad for that guy because I mean, you know, there's a whole lot of stories just like his where he was like beyond talented for what he did, but everything else in his life and in his brain was just utter chaos. And so, I don't know.
Absolutely. I do think that this album does have like this cool, dark, moody atmosphere with like, you know, some strong features.
Yeah.
You know, it's got some of RZA's most experimental production on it, but not all the members appear equally. It's slightly less cohesive. And of course, there's only one little bit with ODB, and he's, you know, over the phone from prison. So, you know, that is simultaneously sad and iconic at the same time.
Yeah, it is it's a cool moment on the album for me. It's the same thing with like that Ghetto Boys album cover where it's right after Bushwick Bill got shot and it's just them in the hospital hallway. Yeah. And I'm just like, sometimes you take advantage of the shit going on and you make that part of what you're doing. And I like that when bands do that.
We can't be stopped.
Yeah, we can't be stopped. That's when Bushwick's girlfriend shot him.
Yeah.
And that's like the picture from them at the ER or whatever.
That's fucking badass, dude.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Rest in peace, Bushwick.
Yes.
Ghetto Boys from here in Houston, Texas, where I live. That's definitely that's a good Ghetto Boys would be fun to do.
Yeah.
Because they start off as a very different group than what they become. And then they do some absolutely iconic music. But then it's the same sort of thing where you've got Ghetto Boys, then you've got Bushwick solo stuff, you've got Scarface solo stuff. It's just there's a lot of a lot of great groups. They have more music than they can just do as a unit. And,
for sure.
Anyway,
yeah. Well, I've kind of been everything lately has worked out in a very strange, unrelated way, and also completely related way, where I've really accidentally immersed myself in late 90s, early 2000s New York East Coast vibe, completely unintentionally.
Yeah.
And it started when I said to myself, oh, I'm going to play GTA 3 again. And then, you know, I said, right, well, I've completed that. I'm going to go play Liberty City Stories because it's a prequel and it involves the mafia. While we're at it, I'm going to start watching The Sopranos. Oh, what's that? We're doing Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan makes this kind of music around this time from this place. And I've kind of just gone all in on this East Coast kind of mafioso vibe lately that I'm just fucking I'm really enjoying it because, you know, for me it's been very, you know, California and Seattle based, and it's nice to get a little East Coast flavor in there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the dark, gritty, moody vibe on the W is really cool. So with that, I'm gonna hand things over to you for your number 2.
Cool. My number 2 is Iron Flag from 2001, their fourth album. I'm gonna go on record and say that this is the most solid record that they made. Well, obviously it's my number 2. It was a year after the W. Doesn't have any ODB on it at all. But this is literally like, there's no filler on this album. There's no sketches. Yeah. It's like 55 minutes or something like that. There's an enjoyable energy and a momentum that goes through the whole album. There's a song called Uzi on it that's just an absolute fucking banger. There's a lot of bangers on it. But like I've heard this album several times, and when I was going into this one, because I did this time I listened to them backwards because I knew that there were certain albums that I liked, but I hadn't really given the last 2 or 3 like that much attention. But Iron Flag, I get to Iron Flag and I go, okay, I'm going to listen to this album and eventually it's going to get to that track that I don't like. And that did not happen.
Damn.
Literally every track on Iron Flag, I was just like, like not groundbreaking, as Wu-Tang was, did with their first album, but it is a solid album, and I was just like, wow, it really is this good, and it was nice because like there's so much of this later Wu-Tang stuff that I'm just like, this is fine. I like this part here. This song's good, but it's all kind of like picking out the things that I like instead of it being one piece of fucking badass killer music. But then finally Iron Flag, I'm like, nope, I think that I can now, after several listens, I can now say that I think Iron Flag is the second best album they did. And I think it's I don't know if it's underrated because I feel like it might be one that like fans of this music or they like Iron Flag. If not, if you only know the first Wu-Tang album, like a lot of people do, go listen to Iron Flag because I think it's very solid, and it's my number 2. And that would bring us to our joint number 1. Now, before we start, so we've been doing this podcast for 6 years.
6 years this June. Hang on, let me look it up.
So in about 3 months, we've been doing this podcast for 6 years. And we've done so many artists: metal, rock, alternative, punk, hip hop, whatever, we've done all these different things. And all these
June 3rd.
So very soon. All of these artists that we've done over this year, what's the thing that we say over and over again? We always say, like, there's no correct answer. These are just our opinions, and everyone has a different viewpoint for these, for this music, and that's how the discussion should be. This is a case where there is a correct answer. If any other Wu-Tang album is your number 1 Wu-Tang album, your taste is questionable. Like there is a wide chasm of differences in quality and experimentation and legendary status between, because there's a lot of albums out there that like are known by a lot of people, and you could go listen to them and go, well, it's not perfect, blah blah blah. No, this album is. That's literally the only fucking note I wrote. It says Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, 1993, and I wrote perfect album. Like every fucking minute of this album is perfect, and it's so important to hip hop music. In pushing the art form forward in a different direction, and the idea of the hip hop group, the idea of the hip hop MC, and the idea of creating instrumentals for hip hop. Like literally everything on this album is not only game changing, but also incredibly enjoyable, incredibly well done. It is I hate saying this word. It is the best Wu-Tang album. Like, I don't even think I could have a discussion about it. It would just be like you saying to me, you know what, rape's not always bad. I'd be like, no, we're not having this discussion. That's not a discussion I'm going to have. And so, like, Enter the Wu-Tang is like I wasn't even worried that this wasn't going to be your number 1. That's how sure I am. I was like, it would be, what kind of world would we live in when Eddie Sparxx puts Enter the Wu-Tang somewhere else on the list? So there you go. I said a few things. Now you talk about our joint number 1.
What he said.
Yeah, it's like just pulling up like obviously, like, I've had a lot of time with this album. I've heard it a lot, but it never, I've heard it so many times, and it always sounds like something that like is from another planet and something that hasn't been done before, even though I've heard it like this many fucking times. But just like the way that it sounds, the performances from everybody on this fucking album bring the ruckus. Shame on a N-word. Only
shame on a fella.
Only Serge Tankian can get away with that, apparently. Have you heard that System of a Down, them covering that, and he full on does the whole word? But apparently Wu-Tang talked him into doing it.
Okay.
Clan to front, Wu-Tang, the Seventh Chamber, Can It All Be So Simple, Intermission, The Mystery of Chess Boxing, Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With, Cash Rules Everything Around Me, Cream Get the Money, Dollar Dollar Bill, yo. METHOD, man, MET, Protect Your Neck, Tears. Look, it's just so good. It's like, and yeah, it was, and I think it was probably because when it came out, this might be part of it as well. When it came out, it felt like every single hip hop artist that I was seeing was all trying to make the Chronic. Like everything was G-Funk. Yeah. Not that that's a bad thing. There's some amazing G-Funk.
Yeah, but, and I love that sound. I'm all over the Chronic.
But just like when this came out, it was just like, this is raw sounding, and I don't know. It's just so like even the way, even the things in the production that you could listen to and go, well, this could have been produced better. I'd be like, in theory, yes, but would it have sounded better? No. So I think that like even the aspects of it where I go, technically, you could say that could have been done better, or that could have been produced better, or whatever. This could have been mixed better. I just think that it sounds like like it sounds underground, first off, which I love. But yeah, it just sounds like you're hearing something special that has not been diluted by record companies or producers or managers or whatever. It just sounds so like legit and too legit to quit. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what else to say, but go ahead.
Honestly, I was going to say, would you consider this a Nevermind situation where all of a sudden there was media saturation of a certain sound, and this walked in and completely fucking changed the game?
I would say that if there were a whole lot of people trying to do Wu-Tang, but that didn't really happen. Because Wu-Tang was doing Wu-Tang. Because as soon as this album came out, there was 5 more Wu-Tang related albums in the 2 years after it. And so
that would kind of be like fucking Kurt, Chris, and Dave all going and doing solo albums immediately after. Yeah, I guess.
I think there were some other artists in the around that time that were doing stuff that felt a little more raw, like, you know, like Black Moon comes to mind. There's a few artists that I'm like, I can see how they may have been, and I guess you could say like a group like Onyx probably got signed because they have qualities that are Wu-Tang-ish in their delivery. It's like Onyx was like 3 old ODBs in a fucking group. But none of it to me sounded like they were trying to do, like, you didn't hear the same kind of instrumentals from other artists. I mean, I'm sure there were, but you know, I didn't hear a lot of that. So it's not, so with Nevermind, but you know what? Now that you mention it, there wasn't a whole lot of bands that sounded exactly like Nirvana. There were a lot of bands that sounded like, you know, Pearl Jam or Alice in Chains. Yeah. Interesting. I never really thought of that. Like, I can't think of a band that I go, well, this sound, well, maybe like Silverchair, maybe. They had some stuff where it just sounded like they were trying to make and I love Silverchair, by the way, make a Nirvana type song.
But I think Silverchair as well, like, you know, you could maybe make an argument for the first album, but like they got weird with it fast, and we both loved that.
Yeah.
Like they immediately got experimental by the second album.
So, but Wu-Tang for sure, I feel like really did come in and kind of change the game, because it's not just the G-Funk, because like, you know, by the early 90s, you still had, you know, MC Hammer and people like that still making music. MC Hammer was still very popular. And then he did Pumps and a Bump, and then everyone went, fuck MC Hammer. It's like, we liked you when you were wearing the big pants. When you're wearing the Speedo, get fucked.
Yeah, put the parachute pants on, you motherfucker.
Dance, monkey. That's the whole. That felt racist, didn't it? That's not what I meant.
It's not what he meant.
That's not what I meant. I just meant, you know, the whole audience is talking to him, saying, "We just want you to dance,
do the thing,
do the thing."
Pokes him with a stick.
Anyway, it's there was a whole lot of that, a whole lot of like mainstream.
Can't touch this. Yes, I will.
Here comes the hammer. There goes the hammer. He'll bye later.
Sorry, dude. Bye. You're out of here.
That being said, I love like the fucking first 3 MC Hammer albums. I love them. I don't care. There was something about that guy. He was an entertainer. We should do an MC Hammer ranking.
Oh, dude.
And man, he was
anything 90s, dude.
He was so big. There
it.
was a fucking cartoon, Hammer Man. There was a cartoon called Hammer Man. There was also a Kid and Play cartoon. There was a New Kids on the Block cartoon. I'm trying to think of all the cool like music related cartoons from when I was a kid. Hammer Man. He got some special shoes and became the Hammer Man. I don't remember the song.
Hammer Man is an animated television series starring rapper MC Hammer, which aired for 13 episodes on ABC in the fall of '91. It was produced by DIC Animation City and Italian company Retetel Italia SPA.
That's the one. That's the one.
In association with Spanish network Telecinco.
Isn't it funny how it's Wu-Tang and we are all of a sudden on MC Hammer. Anyway, I guess
Hammer Man ain't nothing to fuck with.
Are we done here? We're done talking about Wu-Tang? Enter the Wu-Tang?
Dude, into the Wu-Tang. We could go around in fucking circles about what a perfect album it is. It's the winner.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So.
Yep, we did that.
Yep, and
that's what we have done.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun taking these little detours into hip hop for me.
Absolutely, me too.
Because like as much as I do know about, you know, a lot of hip hop music that I talk about, it always feels more interesting for me to talk about it because I've never made that kind of music.
Yeah.
Whereas when we talk about rock and metal, I've been on the side of songwriting, performing, recording. Like I've done it, and I kind of know what goes into some of it. Whereas like hip hop, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I would not be a good rapper. I could probably throw together some good beats, but I wouldn't. I'd just get too. I'd be that guy that like I'd be like Dr. Dre, like working on a beat for like 10 years and be like, it's just not ready yet. And so listening to this stuff and talking about it, I'm all like, it's like it's a world that I enjoy, but it's not a world that like I've been that immersed in. But who else should we do? Run DMC should be done for sure. I think you would enjoy if we did Ghetto Boys. I think that would be fun to do.
Yeah, I'd like that. Yeah. Dude, there's loads I want to get to. There's I can remember early on in this show, someone commented, "What are you going to do when you run out of bands?" It's like, no, there's no such thing as that event.
Yeah, we should do Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, on that side of things. EPMD, my favorite rap group of all time.
Dude, the more I learn, the more I just know that I belong in the early 90s. There's just it's calling to me. Time travel.
Well, think about it. The shit that we were fucking talking about. Like, not only is there the great hip hop, that's when the new Jack Swing shit was happening.
Yeah.
So literally, like, the only thing that sucked in the 90s was country, and I'll go so far as to say it sucked less in the 90s.
Yeah, because at least then it was just, don't break my heart, not, kill the gays, vote for Trump,
What's that fucking thing that's been making the rounds? I just want to catch my fish. Drive my truck.
My favorite. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was the Daily Show where is it? I just want to catch my fish, wear my boots, walk my dog, drive my truck, and it's like those are all completely achievable goals, buddy.
But if you listen to the rest of that song, he made it very clear that the thing that's keeping him from doing all that stuff is the fact that there are trans people.
Little boys and little girls.
What an embarrassment. What an embarrassing thing to say that you're into that music. That's just embarrassing. Politics aside, that's embarrassing to say that's music you like.
One of my favorite things that's come out of the whole, like, did you see, like, was it, I think it was Turning Point or something, they put on like a counter to the Super Bowl halftime show. They put out their own halftime show.
Yes, yeah.
And it was like Kid Rock, and one of the top responses to it that actually I was on the floor fucking laughing when I read it. It said, "No amount of hatred should make you think this is good." Like I don't care how racist you are. This is shit.
and then there's me on that. I'm still on the side of like, why would I ever watch the fucking Super Bowl? like I don't want to watch either one of those things. But that's just me. I'm not a sportsman. So
the only time I can remember, I tried to get into sports. I always thought if I was going to get into anything, it would be something American, because I mean footy's ruined for me. I went to school with a bunch of cunts, but anyway, like I say, I tried to get into the NFL specifically because the Super Bowl, everybody was saying, dude, they're going to do the SpongeBob Sweet Victory at the halftime thing, the Band Geeks episode, where they, that episode where Squidward finally gets what he wants.
I don't remember, but did they do that?
Oh, dude, that's like the best episode of SpongeBob ever. That's the one where, they're like, is mayonnaise an instrument? No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. But like it builds up, and eventually like Squidward thinks that he's going to lose. And then finally all of Bikini Bottom pull together and pull off this like 80s power ballad thing at the end. And he does like a freeze frame air punch at the end. It's the most 80s movie shit in SpongeBob. But
nice.
Anyway, like I'm saying, the whole gag is that they're at the Bubble Bowl and they like rise out of the sea into the middle in a bubble in the middle of the Super Bowl. And there was this thing going around. It's like, they're going to make it a thing. They're going to make it a thing. They're actually going to do the SpongeBob Sweet Victory thing before the halftime show, which was Maroon 5, if I remember right.
Yikes.
But looking back, do you know what actually happened? Right? They showed a split second of it, of Squidward going whoop, whoop, with the conducting stick, and literally I heard the entire. I was at uni at this time, and I heard the Stannery Bar just go yeah when Squidward comes on the screen, and then literally it just went into sicko mode, and everybody just kind of went, "What? You can't show 2 seconds of SpongeBob and say you did it."
Yeah.
That's such a cathartic moment for a generation that grew up on that.
Yeah.
And it would have been better if they didn't include it at all. But they teased us.
Yeah.
They teased us, and they teased us, and then they fucked us.
So then
didn't have they didn't even have the common decency to give us a reach around.
So then that's why we say fuck the NFL, man. That's why. Because of SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but the fucking World Cup is happening in my city.
Yeah.
In Houston. They're already preparing for it. Like there's like fucking soccer ball things on the highway overpasses and shit, and they're changing the names of stadiums to take away, I guess, because they can't have sponsors on stadiums, and so
Right.
They're just getting all this shit ready. And I'm just like, wow, it's cool that it's happening here, but I'm all like, I'm not going to leave my house. Because like literally, downtown is right here. Like
Yeah.
if I get on this highway that's right by me, I'm in downtown in a few minutes. And so I'm like, holy shit, it's going to be absolutely insane everywhere. But that's all right. It's good for my city. I'm happy for that because yeah. Anyway, where were we? Oh, we're done.
Yeah. We were gonna maybe address what we're doing next.
Yes. What's next? I don't even remember.
We have Firehouse,
Okay.
and then, funnily enough, there's a tie-in. I was looking at the 36 Chambers. That was recorded at a studio called Firehouse, which is kind of funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, because we're doing Firehouse next. But here's the thing. I've got two potential choices for a sidebar. And we can choose either the sidebar 1 second of audio challenge, where we were going to try and identify a song from like a single. We were going to like trade back and forth, like quick snippets of songs.
That could be fun or an absolute shit show.
Yeah. Tell you what, we should probably talk about that to pull it off down the line. So I'm going to put it back a little bit.
We got to do some prep work to see if it will actually work.
But what I will say is we also have another sidebar.
Okay.
And it's why the early 90s was the peak of human civilization.
We might as well.
Yeah. Like we have such an opportunity here to just do like a 3-hour fucking ramble on why a span of like the late 80s and early 90s, the naties, if you will, is a thing. And then we've got 2006 after that, because following that is Whitesnake. But if we've got Firehouse, we should put something between that.
Yeah,
Whitesnake.
we got to order things around. That's a lot. That's
a lot of.
Because I know this is a little peek behind the curtain, everybody. But I don't know if you've noticed, but when we do artists like Firehouse, nobody fucking watches. Every single time it's just like, wow, that one flopped for sure.
Yeah.
As fun as it is to talk about that music, I'm like, oh no, people really don't want to talk about that. They're just like, fuck you. When are you going to talk about Metallica again?
Well, tell you what, I'm just going to rattle off what I have here. We're actually just going to start going off of vibes, I think, because if you follow the vibe will follow you. So we've got Firehouse, sidebar, why the early 90s was the peak of human civilization. 2006, Whitesnake, Exodus, Body Count.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Slashed and Mashed, System of a Down, Mesmerize, and Hypnotize.
I'm excited to do that one. Those are great albums.
Okay. Enough's Enough, Tad, Thin Lizzy, the Slashed and Mashed Miami Vice soundtracks 1, 2, and 3.
Nice.
Dude, as much as I love the main Cranked and Ranked show, I think some of my favorite episodes lately have been Slashed and Mashed.
Yeah.
Where
we've kind of moved that into it's much easier to just sort of celebrate what we're talking about instead of having to be so meticulous about creating an actual list. It's more, I feel like it's gotten a little more organic, us just putting those together. I'm going to go on record and say that there are people who are the peanut butter platypuses, the aluminium squirrels, the Belvedere ball sitters, the Christmas dogs, and the Surapenises. The ones that are still watching, I can guarantee you the one name that you said that they're like, oh, do that one is Exodus.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm more than happy to bring
guarantee
Exodus. Okay, I'm more than happy to bring Exodus forward. So how about we do? Should we do Firehouse or Exodus next? Because I feel like back to back, it's a nice back and forth anyway. I feel like Wu-Tang Clan, while not metal, is still quite gritty compared to Firehouse.
Yeah.
So if we do Firehouse and then Exodus, that's a nice, swinging back one the other way.
I like that. We could even put something in between the two. Because like for those of you out there, it's actually a lot of work going through these and notating them, because I can't just spot listen to a couple albums and then put them in an order. I feel like I'm being a fraud if I do that.
Yeah.
So it does take some time to put these together, and then you have some artists that have these really big discographies. But Exodus is like 9 albums or something like that.
That's been there for a while that people have been asking for.
Well, we should just do Exodus next.
Cool.
And then if we need a buffer, because there's a lot of there's 9 Exodus albums, I believe 9 or 10, something like that. I think the 10th one is about to come out. Fuck, I don't know. That's just off of the top of my head.
I have some others here as well. I'd quite like to rattle off.
Oh yeah, please do it. Yeah, this is for all you guys out there. I love that we have these meetings on the episode now. Why not?
It's fun. It's
like the DVD bonus extras or whatever.
It's like a featurette, if you will.
And then you can watch this whole thing again, and it'll be us doing a commentary over the episode of us talking.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So we got AC/DC.
Oh yeah.
Slashed and Mashed Nirvana, no hits. We're not allowed to use singles.
Like the Metallica one. Yes, that's good. I like that.
We were gonna do a thing on coworker music.
Oh fuck yeah, we have to do that.
Okay, should we strike while the iron's hot with that one then? Because I kind of want to bring that one forward.
Yes, do it. There's even been, I saw I don't know if it was Metal Injection or one of those pages that actually did mention something about coworker metal.
Yeah,
and everyone's got their opinions, but I thought it'd be an interesting thing to not only talk about what bands come to mind as coworker music, but also if we had an office job in 1985, who would the coworker bands have been? That kind of thing. Just thinking about what over time has been the coworker music.
Please tell me you've seen that band, Forced to Embrace.
Oh yeah,
we talked about that. Ever being choked until our last breath. This is the place you call home. You're here, you're not alone. Dude, I love it so much.
I just like the fact that somebody commented, and I don't know if this is a thing over there, because you probably won't know, but he said that the guy's vocals sound like the general from the auto insurance, 1-800-GENERAL now. Forced to embrace everything stolen.
I think my favorite comment was, we have Dave Mustaine at home. Dave Mustaine at home.
And I also saw one that said metal vocals in an undercase or something like that, in lowercase.
It's brilliant. I got some other ones here as well.
All right, keep going.
Big names. We've got Overkill,
Mr. Big,
Motorhead.
Oh shit.
Alice Cooper.
Okay.
Dan Reed Network, King's X.
Dan Reed Network, yep.
Absolutely,
King's X,
Network.
absolutely, yes.
Melvins, Prong, Smashing Pumpkins.
Whoa.
Deep Purple, Rollins Band.
Damn.
Yeah.
We absolutely need to move up either AC/DC or Motorhead. That should be one of those two. Should be the next big one that we do.
Okay. All right. In the interest, because Phil Campbell, He died
yes,
very
rest in
recently.
peace. Yeah.
We could effectively do kind of a tribute. So,
But that's a lot of albums. That's probably got to be a two-parter because that is a lot.
Exactly, which is why I'm saying, should we? We'll do Firehouse, Exodus, Sidebar, Coworker Music, and then Motorhead 1 and 2.
If you're down with that list, I'm down with that list. That sounds like a good time.
Okay, so we got Motorhead 1 and 2. Cool.
I'm just ready to learn more Firehouse songs because I literally know 2.
Dude, those first 2, especially the first one, that first Firehouse album was one of the fattest sounding hair metal albums, straight up.
It's got some big ass guitars on it.
Dude, name the 2 songs right now, and I bet I can.
Don't treat me bad.
Don't treat me bad, and Love of a Lifetime.
Love of a Lifetime, yeah.
Right, those are the 2 lightest songs on the album. The
wow.
rest is balls to the fucking wall. The guitar tone, Pantera would have been jealous of.
If that's the case, I have to apologize to my friend from high school because I remember he got that album and I went, "You fucking poser."
Dude, from the first track, you will go, where has this been?
All right, well that sounds fun. I already like if the whole album sounded like "Don't Treat Me Bad," I'd be fine because that's a banger.
Yeah. There's a lot of bass to it.
Although
chunky.
Although I when that song gets stuck in my head, the "Don't Treat Me Bad,"
Yeah.
it immediately reveals how much it's trying to be another song. Because I'll be going, baby, don't treat me bad. Here we go again on my own.
Yeah,
it's got a very similar like sort of thing, and I go, oh, they were trying to do a little "Here I Go Again."
Mine, it worked.
which then "Here I Go Again" gets stuck in my head, and then I have to do a fuck off version of "Here I Go Again" to get it out of my head. If you remember what my fuck off versions of songs are, where I literally change the lyrics into something offensive that makes me laugh, and then all of a sudden the song just goes out of my head. My "Here I Go Again" fuck off version is probably my favorite fuck off version that I do. Would you like me to do it for you now?
Go for it.
Just a little extra. So whenever that song gets in my head, immediately I start singing these it's "Here I go again sucking dongs." Sucking on the longest dong I've ever known. Like a drifter, I was born to suck a dong. But I've made up my mind. I ain't sucking no more dongs, but here I go again. And it makes me laugh every time. And then the song, and then like literally give a few minutes, the song is gone. Like I don't know why the fuck off version helps, but it's just like something gets in my head and immediately my brain turns it into the fuck off version of the song. And even songs I like "Here I Go Again," which is a great song, but all of a sudden it's about sucking dongs.
Fair play. I tell you what, I've completely lost track of what I was going to say then because of dongs.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Well, what was I going to say? It was I had some.
"Don't
really
Treat Me
good
Bad,"
thing,
Firehouse, "Here I Go Again."
Oh yeah, that's it. What's your favorite version of "Here I Go Again"? Because there's 3.
Oh, I like the regular '87 album version.
Yeah, the one that kind of starts off.
Yeah, because I don't like the hobo version because it's weird that he says hobo.
Yeah,
and then the one where there's just way too much keyboard and shit in it. I'm not a big fan of that one. That's all right, but I like the album version.
Yeah, see, for me, the original version, it's herky jerky. It's weird sounding. It's before its time. I like both versions of the '87 one. I like the radio version, but the thing that's weird to me about the '87 album version and the radio version is the different guitar solo. Like, there's different guitar solos in those as well.
Oh yeah,
which is strange. I can understand adding keyboards and making it upbeat from the start, but a different guitar solo as well. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come for the Wu-Tang, stay for the White Snake.
Hey.
Which also is on our list. Eventually, we'll get to White Snake as well.
Yes. And we also have been meaning to tackle some more modern bands. So here I have Periphery, Lamb of God, Opeth, Avenged Sevenfold, those sorts of bands as well. So
I would put Avenged Sevenfold on top of that list.
cool.
Because I at least know that they got to a point where I was interested in what they were doing recently.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like I want to go back and kind of listen to their stuff with a different ear of like, okay, these guys may not have been doing music that I was interested in, but were they good at it? You know, it's I don't know. And then you have like a band like Periphery. I don't even know who the fuck they are, but I'm assuming there's a whole lot of clickety clack bass, a double kick in those songs.
So Periphery are like the gent band. And that's kind of why I wanted to tackle them. Is they're usually at the top of the list of like, these are the guys that made it a thing. I mean, I know Meshuggah obviously were doing that kind of sound, but Periphery were the band that came along and did a thing with it to where everybody wanted to do that version of that thing.
Got it. I think with modern stuff, because there's so much of it that just doesn't really do much for me. But for modern bands that we haven't done yet, Gojira is one that I I really like them. And so that'll be a more interesting conversation because I'm coming at it from a perspective of somebody that like, I like this band, as opposed to us doing like, Lamb of God, which most of the stuff that I've heard from Lamb of God, I've been like, this is okay. They've got some bangers, but like not a lot. And so that would probably be the entire episode. It'd be a 2-hour episode of me going, it has its moments. And then everyone would be like, why? I can't believe you don't like this. What kind of a metalhead are you? I'm like, I'm not a metalhead. As you can see we just did Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm not a rapper. Bing, boom, bop.
Yeah.
Bada, bop, boom, pow. Oh!
Psych! That's the wrong number!
Oh!
Go look up, what's his name? Hot Fire.
Super Hot Fire.
Super Hot Fire.
Yeah.
Those are hilarious videos.
Sweet dollar tea from McDonald's. I drink that. Oh, 2.5 men. I watch that. Oh,
oh, so great. We'll be ranking Super Hot Fire.
hell yeah.
Freestyles. Anyway, all right, let's wrap it up. We've gone way off on tangents, and hope you all enjoyed this episode of Cranked and Ranked about the Wu-Tang. And obviously, if you're a Wu-Tang fan, feel free in the comments of the video to put your ranking, or if you're listening to this as a podcast, send me an email, oldheadpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know what's up. You like Wu-Tangs? Would you add other suggestions? If you write a very interesting and kind of weird email, we'll probably read it on the podcast. But that's it. Thanks for watching. It's been fun. We'll get back to some rock and roll, and especially some what used to be referred to as cock rock back in the day. I don't really call that much anymore, but back in the day, we were referred to all those bands as cock rock.
Yeah.
So if you're into cock rock, you'll be in the right place next time. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as usual, I'm going to throw it over to Eddie Sparxx to take us out.
Cranked and ranked ain't nothing to fuck with. Later, motherfucker.